Hi, I'm sitting here planting cuttings. I'm struggling to find time with everything, but I think it's really important to have enough plants to make a nice garden this coming summer and spring. So I've taken lots of ivy that had to be removed from somewhere, and I'm planting it in pots. So small pots, and just sticking it. It takes so easily, and also I have taught my 8-year-old to do this, so she can sell some at the market next year. She got really excited about the chance to make some money, so it's the only way for me to get her interested to do gardening work. I figured that I could try to mention the money, and she loved the idea. So now she's planting stuff, and she has her own little stash of plants for next summer or next spring. So that's fun, something we can do together. And I'm just, whenever I have the time, I'm planting and planting and planting. And this is nice for pots next spring as well. They manage quite well during the winter, survives cold winters. So I think it's a great plant to have lots of. You can't have too much ivy. You can use it for so many different things, and since it doesn't cost anything to take cuttings, I'm just taking as many I have time with, so that's perfect. I'm going to show you the cuttings I've taken so far and the plants I have here. I have some in my old place as well that I'm going to move. But I'm excited to show you. Let's go. So here is my little nursery at the moment in the lilac bushes. I'm sorry, but the deer is making lots of noise. It's the male deers that are looking for love at the moment, and you can imagine what it sounds like at night when they're most active. Now it's in the middle of the day. They are feeling really lonely at the moment. So here I have put a net just so the deer can't come in and nibble on my plants. So basically I've taken so many cuttings the last weeks, and it's loads of them, and I figure it's better to take too many than too few. So here I have some boxwood cuttings, loads of them, and I have lots of ivy. And this is Japanese holly. They look like the boxwood a little bit, but they're not. But I'm not sure they're making it because they're starting to lose their leaves and look quite bad. So we'll see next year if they have made it or not. And I have loads of forsythia. It's the first thing I start to take cuttings from because I have so much to cut in the city. There are bushes everywhere, and it's so easy to just ask someone if I can take a little. And since there are almost no flowers around here, it would be nice with something that is early, and I know they're so easy to take cuttings from. So I will definitely get many plants, and I can spread them all around, and probably the deer don't eat all of them. So I have more in the back as well. But first we're going to look at some other things. Here are some grapevines that I've taken cuttings from. It's really delicious grapes from a friend of mine. And I hope the plants will make it. I rooted them first in some water, so I know they have roots, but you never know if they make it through the winter or not. We haven't bought so many plants, but a few we did buy. We went to a local place, a local rose farmer, and everybody in the family chose one. So they're going to be planted somewhere in the garden. Here are 2 climbers that me and the 8-year-old choose. Let me see. Here we have some crack willow. It's, I think, a variety that was found in Sweden in the 19th century, if I'm not wrong. And there are some daylilies that were here from the start. So I've saved them when I was digging in a place just to keep them safe. I don't know what they look like, but I suppose they're yellow. And some irises as well that were here from the beginning, and some from my grandmother's old garden. And here are some common periwinkle, I think they're called. There were lots in front of the house, and when we decided to paint and I wanted to take all the weeds out, I saved this as well too, in case I want them somewhere, but they're growing a little bit like a weed here, I think. Let me see. Here are the most exciting things. It's some seedlings from a magnolia called Oyama magnolia. And I think it's also called Sebald's magnolia or something like that. But they're so cute, and I have loads. So they really took, well, the seeds came up, and I hope they make the winter. I don't know actually how to store these. I'm going to plant some, and I might put some of them into the cellar and see. It should be frost free there, I hope, but I'm not totally sure. And some I might just dig down with the pots and cover well with leaves and see if that works out. And maybe put some inside in the house as well. And then they will be dry but cold. So I'm going to try to just give them different opportunities to see whatever works best. And here I have some hydrangeas. These are panicle hydrangeas, and it was a supermarket that had them for really, really cheap. They were, let me see, they were around $6 each, and I potted them up. In Sweden you don't get any plants for $6, not any bushes or anything like that. So here some of them have started blooming already. They're quite cute. It's 5 different varieties, and let me see. It's the same grower that has made them, and I think it's called Living or something, the series. So it's lots of different Sugar Rush, and some is called Royal Flower or something, and some different names. I don't remember them all. I've planted them in much bigger pots. They came in 10 centimeter pots, and now they're in bigger pots, so they can root out better, and they have grown a lot more since I planted them. And I don't know if I will just dig the pots down for the winter or if I find somewhere to plant them properly. We'll see how much time I have. Here are some more of the forsythia, and let's see what I have. Some hydrangea cuttings. I think these are limelights, all of them, but I have 2 different varieties, but I think only the limelights took. Let me see what more I have. Really nice rhododendron I got from a friend. It's a very big leafed variety and it's just a seedling, so I mean I think it's 2-3 years old, or 3 years old maybe, and hopefully it will grow much bigger leaves. I love it. It's so nice. And it's brown underneath and soft, the indiment. It's really nice. Let's see what I have in these boxes here. I have cuttings from smoke bush, and I think some of them has rooted because they have started getting shoots. You can see here. And I'm really excited about that. So hopefully I love smoke bushes. So I will have plenty to plant out in different places. Here are some big leaf hydrangeas. And they have really had a great start. Let me see what this is. This is Endless Summer. And I don't know, I can't see any roots underneath, but they have definitely rooted since they have started growing that well. I keep them in a box to keep them moist, and because it has been raining the last days and I don't want them to get way too wet. So yeah, I think they're doing very well here. I have another box also with hydrangeas, some other varieties here as well, and they have done really well as well. It's also big leaf hydrangeas, as you can see, and most of them, I think pretty much all of them except for maybe this little fellow. It's not dead, but it hasn't started growing. All the others look really nice. So I think hopefully if they survive the winter, I have some good plants next summer to plant somewhere. So that's what I have here. And well, it doesn't look that exciting maybe, but it's a start. Actually, I'm thinking of putting the ivy under the big ash tree. Now when I've cleared some of it, because it's growing so well and usually it's not so sensitive to drought and it works well in shadow. So I think that could be a really good plant for ground cover. That's my thought. Let me know what you think. Do you think I should put ivy as ground cover under the tree? The big tree? Or do you have any other suggestions? I think it could be nice, and then plant in some other shrubs and maybe some small trees as well. I'm not sure. Maybe some boxwood. You never know. I'll just have to see what survives, and then I might buy some plants as well, obviously, but since there is so much space and I can't afford buying everything. I'm just doing my best propagating plants. I have lots of hostas at home that I'm dividing, and also in my old allotment garden I have loads of plants that I've taken cuttings from and divided peonies, and I have so many plants there as well, trees also that I'm going to move here, rhododendron seedlings as well. So I think now the biggest problem is where to plant all these things. I have no idea actually, because it's no really obvious place to plant them, since there are weeds everywhere and it takes so much time to dig new borders or planting areas. So I hopefully have time, but where it's most obvious to plant things, it's so many weeds that are difficult to get rid of, so I'm not sure I will manage to get those ready for planting this year, but we'll see. So there you have it. I hope you liked the little tour in my tiny nursery here, and I'll let you know what happens if I do something more here. I'm planning on making a proper nursery down by the barn. Let me see. I'll show you what I'm thinking. My plan is to remove some of these blackthorn bushes that are here down by the barn, and I'm going to first remove them by hand and then probably dig the roots. I'll have a digger help me to take all the roots up here, because it's a really nice area and it's some shade here as well, and then I can easily put some kind of fence around, and one of the walls here, it's so handy to have a wall, and then I put a fence around just so the deers can't come in and eat everything. Yeah, I think that's going to be great, but maybe it takes 1 or 2 years before I manage to do everything. It's so many things I want to do and it's so little time. So we'll see when I get around to doing that. I don't lack blackthorn bushes, as you can see, so removing some of them would just be good, and also to get rid of those wild boar. I met one the other day and it was huge. It ran in front of my car just next to the house, I think 5 meters in front of the car or something. Here I have some more cuttings, ivy and more grapevines, and some more boxwood, and also I planted some seeds from foxgloves and some other seeds, so they're in here. I don't know if they will make the winter, but I figured that I can try to plant some this year, and if they survive I might get flowers next year. Otherwise I'll just plant some new ones next spring. So there are some pots here with different things. It's some big poppies as well, some of the perennial poppies. So I have some more here. They're here since I didn't have any other space. That's all for this time. If you don't subscribe to my channel, please do so and click the little bell so you get notifications whenever I post something new. Have a nice time. See ya. Bye.